I want to ask you something honest. When was the last time you had a brilliant idea and then completely forgot it, or did nothing about it, or spent hours watching a course, reading a book, and a month later? 2 years ago, I was drowning, not in water, in my own thoughts. I had projects, ideas, to-do lists, scattered across 7 apps and 107 different notes. Google Docs, Apple Notes, sticky notes on my desk, notebooks I would lose. My mind felt like a browser with 50 tabs open.
New thought, boom, on the page.
Does this sound to you? Here's what I realized. The problem was not my brain. The problem was that I was asking the wrong question. I kept asking, how do I organize my notes better? But the real question was, how do I think better? In the next minutes, I'm going to show you a system that changed everything for me. Not just how I take notes, but how I think, create, and build my life. Here's what you are about to learn. How to stop forgetting important ideas. How to connect your scattered knowledge into intelligence. How to turn information into action. And you are going to build your first second brain. Right now, with me. Let's go. So, the first thing that we need to do is to go to obsidian.md. This is the place where you need to download Obsidian from. Obsidian for sure is available in so many operating systems such as macOS, iOS, Android, and Windows. So, you need to get it from here. Once you open Obsidian for the first time, you will see this. We will create a new vault. A vault is basically the place where you store all of your knowledge and information. So let's create one. You can choose whatever name you want. In this case, I will name it as my second brain. And something really great about Obsidian is that you have 2 location options. So the first one is local in your machine, and the second one is a cloud service that you trust. So it could be iCloud, Google Drive, OneDrive, and many more. Okay, so we are now ready to create our Obsidian vault. Let's click on create. Alright, so this is Obsidian out of the box. You will see that we have 3 main panes. The left bar, we can see that we have folders and notes. Here in the middle, we can see that there's a welcoming note page. And on the right side, we have a graph view. I will for sure explain what everything means. Before we capture a single thought, we need a home for your thinking. This takes a couple of minutes. I will use something called Para. It is a method, and it's brilliant because it matches how your brain actually works. So we will first create a set of 4 folders. We go to this left sidebar, and we can click on this icon where it says new folder, or we can right or double click to create one. The first folder will be named as projects. Our second folder will be areas. Our third folder will be resources. And fourth will be archive. Each one of these serves a specific purpose. So projects, this is the place where you want to save your active goals with deadlines. Just think about maybe launching a side business or planning a vacation. Projects have a finish line. When you're done, they move to archive. Areas. These are ongoing life responsibilities, areas of your life. So there is no end date. You can think of areas such as health, fitness, finance, career, relationships. They will need your maintenance. They are the foundation of your life. Resources. This is your knowledge library. Things you're learning about. It could be prompts, article summaries, or templates, which is really powerful and we will be using a lot. Archives. Completed projects or stuff out of sight that you don't want to have present but you don't want to lose. And that's it. 4 folders. Every note you'll ever create fits into one of these. Do you notice something? This isn't organized by topic or format. It's organized by your life context. When you're planning to launch a business, you go to projects. When you're crafting a YouTube video script template, you go to resources. When you want to review your health habits and knowledge, you go to areas. Your notes are exactly where your mind expects them to be. Now, in my Unlock Your Second Brain PDF, I break down more advanced structures in a folder called Home, where you host automated dashboard setups, smart and live project tracking, and tasks consolidation. But this foundation is great to just start. Now, let's capture your first real idea. So follow me. Here's something powerful. In Obsidian, creating a note is so easy. So you just need to press Command or Control N, and this is how you create notes. And unlike other software, you don't need to go to File, Save As, and then choose a location. No, you just need to create a note and that's it. It is so easy, and notes have autosave. So you don't need to worry about if you quickly quit this application. Nothing to worry about, it will be saved. Alright, so let's add a title. I have a project in mind, which is launch a newsletter. So Obsidian, as other software, has something called syntax. I want something automatic and something really quick. I will start by creating a header. For that, I will press the hash sign 2 times. We have now 2 hashes, then I need to press the space key. And let's say that I want why this matters as my header. This will help me to understand why am I thinking of this idea or project. I want to share my ideas with the world and build an audience around becoming a YouTuber, which is something that I've done in the past. Okay, that sounds great. Now let's add a second header, but because I want to have a lower hierarchy, I'm adding an extra hash. This is more like a subsection. I want to set my goals. I'm naming this header as success looks like. Now I will want to add bullet point lists. So for that we type a dash, then space, and as you can see, now we have a bullet point. Now I need to plan to do something. I need an action plan. So my next steps will be choosing a newsletter platform, then to write my first 3 drafts, design a simple template, and to set a launch date. I've been researching a lot of things. I can think about now about content strategy. I'm also building a writing process. I want to build an audience, so I need to identify my audience's pain points and worries. So as you can see, we have text that is in purple, and I will explain why. So I added double brackets to each of them because I want to relate another idea or another note. So I was thinking about content strategy, writing process, and audience building. These will become really relevant to this project, so that's why I'm adding them to this project note. Now watch what happens when I click on any of these. Alright, so I've clicked on the content strategy note, but because I don't have a note yet, it's blank. But what Obsidian does is to automatically create this note. This is how your second brain grows organically. You don't plan the whole structure up front, you build it as you think. So right next to my note, I have something called graph view. And as you can see, I have different dots. So basically the graph view is your web of knowledge. I have all of my notes here that I've created or I've referenced to. As you can see, I have this main note, which is launch a newsletter. This is the project note that we've just created. And I have other things, other dots, which connect to it. So these notes are basically connection across reference that you make. So if we go back to the launch a newsletter project, we will see that we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 references, 4 connections, and the same with our graph view. Now we can see that there are dots that are inactive and other ones that are active. So content strategy is active because I've clicked on the note and a note was created. I can always go back to see my general knowledge in this graph view. The links that I created are bidirectional. What this means is really easy. So for that, I will need another kind of graph view. I will open something called command prompt. So if we press Command or Control P, we will activate our command prompt. Now, we'll search for local graph view. We have two different views for our web of knowledge. Now, graph view is general, and it displays all of your nodes, but local graph view focuses on the node that is open, that is active. So as you can see, I have my content strategy node that is related to my launch and newsletter project. If I click on it, I will return to my project node. And if I add something to this writing process, let's say scripting best practices. As you can see, it now shows up. So you wonder, why is this useful? When you work with a lot of information or you want to experiment with different concepts and relate them to each other, it is so easy to get lost. So graph views are definitely my way to go to not get lost and to always find the information I need at the right time. And also because this is all automatic, so there is no extra work. This is visual and rich reference to the bridges that you make. I will now rearrange this layout, so you can drag any tab or element that you want. Let's bring that to the right side so that I now have two windows instead of having three. So I can change between my graph view and my local graph view. I'm going to make a new node. This is Command or Control N. And this will be about Obsidian syntax. Start with the headers that we just talked about. So this is header 1. If we do 2 hash signs, it will be header 2. And if we do 3 headers, header 3. I mean, there's lower hierarchies, so you can add as much hash signs as you may want. Something also great about Obsidian is that you can zoom in and also zoom out. So let me give you an example by also still explaining the syntax. If you add 2 asterisks, you can do bold text. Now, if you add a single asterisk, it will be italic text. Well, I'm not sure about you, but I don't notice much the difference between bold text and italic text. But the great thing is that you can customize Obsidian. So yes, we have Obsidian right out of the box. It's fine, but I prefer more. So here we are, in my opinion, a better looking interface of Obsidian. So this was possible through different themes that I custom myself, but I also downloaded from Obsidian. So we will have header 1. Also, you can do bullet lists as we just did. Then let's create a checkbox. So for that, you just need a dash, then space, then open brackets, space, close bracket, space. And you have checkboxes. Now with this custom theme, I can really see that we have bold text and is different from my headers, so that's great. I also have italic text, and if I start to number things, so let's say 1 dot space, we can add a number list. So let's say first. As you can see, I already have some information here, but if I only want to focus on the content of my header 1, I can just click on this arrow and everything else will hide. So that's really powerful. If you want to focus on a single thing but don't want to miss track of the rest of the context, you can just toggle on these arrows, as you can see. So this is the power of zooming in and zooming out. We for sure also have links. That is a feature that I've already showed to you. So let's add another one. Say my target audience, I also want to be here. We also have references and links. So I already know that I can link or reference any other notes that I have in mind, but also you can show them in another note. This is really powerful when you are managing different contexts and concepts at the same time, so you don't need to lose track or you don't need to repeat yourself. This is the power of automation. I can also reference information that is inside that note. So for that, I first need to add an exclamation sign at the beginning. And as you can see, I already have a lot of information. In fact, of the information of that note is being displayed, but I don't want all of it. So what I'm going to do is I go to the end of my note title, then I add a hash sign. So I have different headers in here. Okay, I have too many information from here, but I want to display install unconfigure Obsidian. So I'm gonna click on here. And just like that, I have automatically got information from another node so that it's easier to go back to that node even without going back to it, just by having a reference. Another powerful feature from Obsidian are tags. So the way that you declare tags is by pressing a hash sign. So we have used hashes before, but we will not press space. In this case, we will just go with a tag name. Let's say communication. And you can have different tags category so that you can filter better and also visualize them in your graph view. Alright, so I'm going to my filters here in my graph view and I will enable tags. So I already have different tags in this really basic and simple Obsidian Vault. And as you can see, I have different tags already connected. So I have communication tag that shows me Obsidian syntax and also meeting node template. I have Markdown and it's related to Obsidian syntax guide. I can also search for tags here. If I click on the search icon and then I type on the bar whatever tag I want. So I will choose tag and I will look for communication. I will press enter. And as you can see, I have two nodes that have that tag inside. Okay, let me show you just a peek of my personal Obsidian system. I've worked on it for 2 years and it's pretty much customized to my way of thinking. So if I go to knowledge graph, by the way, I have filters applied, so that's why not all of my nodes appear in here, but you will have a great idea. You will see that I have many connections. So these dots that are the biggest represent the ones that have more connections to it. So in this case, I have something called stories that stick. This is a note about a book I read that I really liked and has been powerful in order to understand more what the audience wants. So this relates to pain points, problems, what they desire, what the new life looks like for them. I have different nodes connected to this concept, as you can see. Let's track down one of them. Okay, I have my target audience connected to my stories that stick, and as you can see, I also have nodes connected to my target audience. So this is the power of bidirectional linking. I also have another one that is called restore posting on Reddit, which is something that I need to do. So I connected this node to post drafts. So I made a couple of drafts about something I want to share on Reddit and that could potentially resonate with an audience. I have a daily note that I referenced to because I wrote down some ideas about a draft that I could make. And as you can see, there's a lot of connections. So this is where creativity really starts. When you start to see patterns you didn't notice, ideas from different areas of your life start to talk each other. You know what? One thing that I hate about traditional node apps is that you need to organize your nodes by hierarchy. Folder, subfolder, file. But your brain doesn't work that way. Your brain is a web. Your second brain should be too. Now, here's a habit that makes everything stick. A daily note. Every morning or evening, I open something called today's note and I just start to brain dump. start thinking about things, remind myself what I need to do, and that's it. So first, let's make sure we have daily notes enabled. So we need to go to this icon, which is the settings icon, core plugins. So we have different settings, but I will not explain too much about them in this video, but I do explain in great detail in my Second Brain PDF. So here in the car plugins section, we will see daily notes. To configure a couple of things, date format, this is the one that I recommend you to use. With this format, we get this date. File location, you can choose whichever you want. In my case, I have it in this location, which is resources, then templates, and then I have a note that is called daily note template. As you can see, it has a few elements, but trust me, this is more than enough. What are my top priorities today? So you can list the top priorities that you have, such as, let's say, read 10 pages from my book, Thinking Slow and Fast. Research about journaling techniques. And for example, I can create a note for this one. Okay, so let's say journaling basics. And we will have a new note. So in this place that is separate, I can brain dump anything that I find about journaling and that is useful. So I can later on implement that into my daily note as well. Properly set up my second brain. And I will use the feature that I just showed to you. So exclamation sign, double brackets. Let's look for my setup guide, but I just want setup port. So I will add a hash sign for that and install and configure Obsidian. You for sure can use Obsidian in so many ways. This is just an example of what we have already learned. Then I have space for my thoughts and captures. So this could be random ideas, insights, things I don't want to forget. So let's say that Batman from the Batman movie 2022 journals every day. This is a powerful tool for him to be more strategic and a better detective. So from this insight, I can also add it to my journaling basics and put an example from the Batman movie. I can also think about 3D web design with dynamic elements for my landing page. We also have this evening reflection. So what went well? What did I learn? So for example, for my evening reflection, I can tell you that I need to spend my time wisely and not getting distracted too easily. For example, another insight from today is to unfollow accounts that do not bring me value. Why is this? Because I spent 1 hour logged in Instagram today. So this template does 3 powerful things. The first one is that it gives your brain a designated dump zone. So no more sticky notes or random docs. Everything has home. The second one is creates a timeline of your thinking. You can always go back and see what you're working on, learning and feeling. This builds the linking habit. Every day you're connecting today's thoughts to your projects, areas and resources, just as we did right now. The template is simple on purpose. You can make it as detailed or minimal as you want. And for sure, in my Master Your Second Brain guide, I have a more complex template with automations integrated. So for example, I have my today's task backlog with priority settings. And also if I click on any of this, it goes to my completed today query. So it is more sophisticated. I also have dashboards related to that, but the simple daily note system works. Go to your command prompt, then type in daily notes, open today's daily note. And this is how you always open your daily note. I also have another idea, let's say for a newsletter topic, which is how to defeat procrastination. Let's say idea for my newsletter, or launch my newsletter project. Also, let's store our notes properly. So let's say that Journaling Basics is part of my resources. Obsidian syntax is also part of my resources. My writing process is part of my areas. So let's say one day I created a note, here are my resources, about a book I've been reading, which is Atomic Habits. Here I wrote down a key insight, which is make it easy, reduce friction for good habits, and also this reduces decision fatigue. Also, let's link the note that we just talked about. This will connect to my procrastination note. How to defeat procrastination. Okay, that's perfect. And as you can see, this is already connected to two different notes. One is my daily note, and the other one is my Atomic Habits book note. Alright, so I have a general idea of this concept that uses the 2-minute rule. So I will now link my project note, launching my newsletter. As you can see, my graph view just becomes bigger and I can always trace back my notes. So that's really, really powerful. Launch my newsletter. I have concepts about content strategy, about how to defeat procrastination, which will be my first draft. And this comes from Atomic Habits. So the flow is capture in daily notes or resources, curate by adding your perspective, connect through links, create by pulling everything together. You are not just storing information, you're building intelligence. So congratulations, you just built your first second brain. You have a power structure that matches how you think, the essential Obsidian syntax that you need, real notes with connections, and a daily capture habit. Here's what I want you to do in the next 24 hours. The first, to create one project note, something real from your life, something that you want to get done. Second, create one resource note, an idea or insight that you want to remember. Number 3, to link them. Find one natural connection. 4, start tomorrow's daily note. Even if you write one single sentence, it will be really powerful. And that's it. 4 actions. Your second brain is alive. Now, I need to be honest with you. What we covered today is the foundation. It's powerful, but it's incomplete. If you want to go deeper, to build automated dashboards, use advanced templates, integrate task management, and create a system that thinks with you, I've built something for you. My Master Second Brain PDF guide includes advanced folder structures and automation workflows, ready to use templates for break planning, weekly reviews, meeting notes, book summaries, etc. Advanced syntax with examples, advanced tips and tricks, troubleshooting guides, and plugin recommendations. The fundamentals of the system I use every day, refined over 2 years, distilled into a step-by-step blueprint. The link is in the description. If this free workshop sparked something in you, the full system will transform how you work, think, and create. Thank you for taking your time with me. I hope you build something awesome. Now, your second brain is waiting. Keep in mind.